Hi everyone, this is Debabrata. So I will not waste my time by giving some introduction of myself. So you will be getting the link in the description of this class in this video about myself. And as you know, I am a slow learner. So if you have any difficulties at your end, any negative point, still I will recommend to proceed. Okay, do not stop, just to proceed. And today we will check the most important chapter on for loop, and from in earlier class as well, like I have told many times that for loop will be the most important section in any front end programming languages. Okay, so for Python as well, for loop is important. So if you are new to this class, I will recommend you to go through the first 4 classes. This is the fifth class in a row. So if you are really starting from zero, if you are really starting from scratch, if you do not know anything, I will prefer to start from the first video. I have designed these classes in a way so that someone is new to this industry or someone who doesn't know any single bit about programming, so it will be helpful for him or her as well. So I will request you to start from the first class, and then it would be the fifth class in the series. So today is the last class for the for loop. We have already checked for loop application and for loop series in the previous classes. So today we will be checking for loop applications. Okay, so yeah, you can see the last 2 classes about for loop series and patterns. So this is the third class. So prerequisite is you have to start from zero, and you have to have some time in your hand to practice all of this. Otherwise, it will not be means you cannot grab the idea fully. So you have to practice all of them. I will not be sharing the codes in the description. If I share the codes, usually what happens, people just copy and paste those code and execute that. But I want you to get that pain. Means if you try to write the codes by yourself, then you will be facing some issues. You will be finding some errors, and that errors and that pain will be important. So I need you to have some time in your hand to practice all this. So this is the program. We will start with this one. So we can solve this program now. So if I go to the online compiler, as you all know, I always prefer for the online compiler. Yeah, obviously later I will move to the Python idle or PyCharm or some other areas. But for the time being, uh, to get the idea of Python, I think this online GDB or any online compiler will be enough. So I prefer this online GDB because taking input and output is simpler here. So let me first find out how to solve this one, 258 less than 50. So let me write the program 258 till 50. So we have already checked how to solve this. So this can be done by for I in range 2 to 50, one extra value, that is 51, and I will increase it by 3. And if I print it, print I, it should print that series 258 and all. If you check, it is printing the series 258, 11, kind of that. And if I want to make it in the same line, then I can just write this one. So now check, it is printing the series. So we know this. So today we will be learning while loop. So what is while loop now? While loop means the same thing like a for loop, the same loop like a for loop, but it looks different. That's all. If you follow a 3-step rule, if you follow a 3-step rule, again another 3-step rule. So it is you cannot find it in Google. So the 3-step rule, I have checked, it is the rule. So the first step, like you have 3 steps. First step is you can place the starting value before the loop, starting value to the starting value before the loop. Okay, let me print it. Like first step is starting value before the loop. So what I'm trying to say, you have to, the first step is I equals to 2. So this value, you can put it at the front. So this 2. The last value means the incremented value. You can, let me write the same here. like the second step will be kind of the last increment or decrement value. You have to move it to the last line of loop. You have to move it to the last line of the loop. Okay. So second step will be the last value, means the increment value, this one. So here we are incrementing the value of I as 3 every time. So I need to remove that from here. And at the end, you need to place it. I equals to I plus 3. Okay. So the second step is last increment value to the last line of the loop. Okay. And what will be the third step here? Third step will be instead of for, third step will be instead of for, you have to write while. Okay. So let me write this step as well. You have to write while instead of for. That's all. That's all of while loop is. Okay. So let me write that. Instead of for I in range 51, instead of that, I will write while I less than 51. And here in using while loop, you can also mention I less than equals to 50. So you do not have that restriction like you have to give one extra value and kind of that. So it is a simpler form of the for loop. So what I am doing again, I am introducing I equals to 2. After that, I less than equals to 50. I am printing I and incrementing it by 3. So the same task like the for loop. The same task I am doing like the for loop. If you check, I got the same answer as the for loop. So for loop and while loop are basically same. Okay, so for loop and while loop are basically same. If I check the next program, so if I check, it is 1, 2, 3 until 10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 until 10. So let me solve that using both for loop and while loop. So first, let me solve that using for loop. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus kind of till 10. Okay, first let me solve that using for loop. So for I in range 1 to 10. Okay, and here if I write print, then this will print or the full series 1 to 10. Let me show you. So, okay, sorry, one extra value, I forget. So you have to remember Python always takes one extra value. So here 1 to 10 is being printed. So we have, if you can remember in the class of for series, we have learned how to get the sum of a series. So another 3-step rule we applied there. The first step was you need to put sum equals to 0. The last step was after the loop, you need to print the sum. And whatever the another step is, whatever you are printing, put that inside sum. So if you do not know this rule, I will request you to go back to our third class that was on for series. You can check that same there. So if I execute this program now, I will get the sum as 55. So now my task is like I need to do the same using while loop. So while loop, you can see the first step is starting value before the loop. So here the starting value is 1. So I can put it before the loop, I equals to 1. Let me delete that. Last value or increment value to the last line of the loop. So here increment value is given nothing. So if it is nothing, I know it is by default, it is 1. So either you can mention 1 or you can delete. So I can put this at the last line of the loop, I equals to I plus 1. And last step is just replace this for loop with while. So I can write while I less than 11. Or you can also mention less than equals to 10. Anything you want. So if I run the same, it will again print the 55. So while loop is something similar to the for loop. Okay, the logic is similar. So if I go next, now in the for loop application, we will not be dealing with only the series and patterns, those unrealistic things. So we will deal with some real-time problem or real mathematical problems. So like this one is one problem, like enter a number and print its factorial. So what do you mean by factorial? Factorial means, if I explain what does a factorial mean, suppose it is a part of mathematics. It is not a part of in our computer science. It is nothing related to computer science. As per mathematics, 5 factorial is being represented as a exclamatory marks, or do not need to know those things. Factorial of 5 means simply 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. That is, I guess, 120. So if I want to get factorial of 6, as per mathematics, I am saying it is nothing related with the computer. So, sorry, factorial of 3, say. So it will be 1 into 2 into 3. And the factorial of 3 will be termed as 6. Okay, so this is the general rule. So if I want to make the same using computer, what should I do? So here we have checked how to get the sum of a series. So this, in the similar way, I will try to get the product of the same series. So I have done sum equals to sum into I. So the sum word is not good here. I can make it P for product, say. I will replace all the sum with P. But there is nothing bad if you use sum as well. Computer doesn't know what is sum, what is product. So, but still, it looks good if I use P instead of sum. So I have used the variable P here, and the starting value of the P will be 1. Why? If you put P equals to 0 and if you run, so the final answer will come as 0. Why? If you multiply anything with 0, it will be 0. So we need to multiply it with 1. Okay, now if you run, I will get the 10 factorial. So let me use 5 factorial. 5 factorial is 120. Let me check if it is giving the same answer or not. So take a look, 5 factorial is 120. So it can be executed by for loop as well, the simple thing, for I in range. Let me use P equals to 1 again, for I in range, and I can use 1 to 5 plus 1 means 6. And I can do the same thing, P equals to P into I, the same thing. For loop and while are same. Do not think that while loop is different than for loop. So the same answer will be printed twice, 120 and 120. What I am doing, I am just splitting this part. So here I am writing kind of this. By default, it is 1. So I am bringing this first part, the initial value, at the starting of the loop, before the loop, better to say. The middle value still exists in the middle. Here it is. I can use less than 6 or I can use less than equals to 5. And the last value means the incremented value, 1. And if in this case it is 1, or you can even cannot have that value. By default, it is 1. And if you have something like 2 or 3, just place that value at the end of the loop here. That's all. That's all about the while loop. Okay, so if I run, and this is the first time our value means our program is solving a mathematical problem. So I can write something like n equals to int input, something like enter a value, and in return, I will give you the factorial. So in return, I will give you the factorial. Either you can use for and either you can use while, that doesn't matter. But first time user will be receiving something in real, something, some real life problem. So the factorial of n is p, suppose, and you have to put n here. So if I run, so the user will be giving 3. In return, he or she will be getting 6. If the user gives 5, in return, he or she will be getting 120. So this is being called as a for loop application. It means it can solve. We will use for loop to solve some real-time problem or some mathematical problem or some some problems like GCD, some problems like LCM, mathematical problems, or I will use the for loop to finding the maximum number, the minimum number, or some special numbers, kind of that. So we will check today how to solve this. Okay, now some people might think, what is the use of bringing for while loop into the picture? For loop was enough. So I want to say something like, if I give you some problem like this, so the area of while loop is much bigger than the for loop, believe me. So suppose while loop covers this much of area, say, then the for loop covers a part of the section. So, and if I say more, means we will not learn that part now, but there is another thing called recursion. So recursion cover more area. So for loop, you can say, is in between. For loop is this one. Okay, while loop is this one. So we'll be learning while loop. I can prove whatever can be solved by for loop, it can be solved by while loop as well. But the reverse is not true. There are some problems that can be solved by while loop, but obviously that cannot be solved by for loop. And the last part we will learn later, not now, it is recursion. So recursion covers more area than for and while. Okay, so let me check if I can solve this problem 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 till 200 by using for loop or not. So here, the problem is 1, let me write it first, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, kind of that 32 till 200. So let me delete all this. So if I write for I in range 1 to 201, and now how can you increment? Because it is something like into 1 into 2 equals to 2. 2 into 2 equals to 4. 4 into 2 equals to 8. 8 into 2 equals to 16. So it is not a normal sum that you can write 2. 2 means it is sum. 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 2, 5. So here we are doing the multiplication. So for loop, a simple for loop will not be able to do that. So better, in this case, better is to use the while loop. So I will be 1 while I less than equals to 200, and I will print I, obviously, end equals to space to print it in the same line. And every time, instead of I equals to I plus 2, I will be using I equals to I into 2. That's all. That's all you need to do. But for loop will not be enough for this. So look, it is printing all the terms in the series till 200. So that is the use of while loop. So while loop does something like it can increment the value as per divide and into as well. But for loop generally is able to increment as per the plus and minus. And while loop can cover all of this into, divide, and everything. Here I am incrementing a value with respect to into, means by multiplying that. Okay, so that is the purpose of while loop. Okay, hope it is clear. If not, you can mention in the comment section. I will try to answer that questions. So today in the loop, in the for loop application, still we will call it as for loop application. You can mention like loop application, while loop application, anything. So I will use both for loop and while loop. Okay, alternatively. So we will learn 4 topics together in this section. So the first topic is how to extract digits. Extract digit means, suppose it is being told like enter a number and print the sum of digit. Suppose they are being saying like they will put some values like 153 and you need to print the digits separately, 1, 5 and 3. Okay, or they can also ask like 1 plus 5 plus 3. They want the sum as 9. The value will be entered and it will be like you need to fetch the sum. So I will take one input from the user. So let me take the input from the user. N equals to int input. Sorry. Enter the number. And here, what I will do, first, I will do something like while I will put one condition. I don't know what condition it will be. Let it be for the time being. Let it be blank for the time being. I will print in percentage 10. What does it mean in percentage 10? So 153 is the number. If I do 153 percentage 10, what will be the answer? It will be 3. Obviously, if we divide 153 by 10, so the remainder will be 3. So 3 is my first digit. So if I print this line, so n percentage 10 will print 3. So after printing 3, I will target to print 5. What I will do? I will simply do n equals to n by 10. So what will be the answer? If I divide 153 by 10, so obviously the answer will be 15.3. And as it is double by, so it will be 15. Obviously, 153 by 10, it will be 15. So next time, again, I will do 15 percentage 10. What will be the answer for 15 percentage 10? It will be 5. So first, I will get the percentage to fetch the digit, and after that, I will divide. So once I get 5 here, so next time, I will again do 15 by 10. So what will be the answer if I do 15 by 10? So it will be 1.5, or by it is double by, so it will be 1. So next time I am printing 1 percentage 10 here. So 1 percentage 10 means it will be 1. It will be 1. And next 1 by 10. So 1 by 10 means if you do 1 divided by 10, it means 0.1. But here it is double by, so it will print an integer part. We have learned that in the chapter 1 on the very first class. So it is 0. So I will iterate this loop until n greater than 0. Okay, if I run, I will get the digits in reverse. First, I will get, if I put 153, first I will get 3, then 5, then 1. Take a look. Okay, if this idea is not clear, let me know. Just revise the video, revise the class, and pause it and listen it once again. Now, if I want to get the sum, obviously the 3-step rule, another 3-step rule is here. Sum equals to 0. Whatever I am printing, I will put it inside sum. Sum equals to sum plus, and after the loop, I will be printing sum. That's all. So if I run, it will print 9 for me. If I enter 153, obviously you can enter anything else, but here it will print 153, means the sum of digit is 9. If I enter anything else like 436, so it will be something like 13. So it will give the dynamic result. So it is another type of application that we have derived. So we are trying to solve the real-time problems using for loop or using while loop, whatever you can say. So this problem cannot be solved by for loop. How? Why? Because we are trying to divide it by, we are trying to increment or decrement the value using divide. But normal for loop is only able to increment the values by sum or subtract. But here, as we are using the divide, we will not be able to use the for loop here. So while loop will be the only choice. So if I go to the next problem, enter a number and print if it is Armstrong number or not. So what is Armstrong number? Armstrong number is a number where the sum of digits, sum of cube of digit is equals to that number itself. So 153 means 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube. What does it mean? Means, let me, I cannot give square here, so I have to write it manually. So you can think something like 1 cube plus mathematically 5 cube plus 3 cube. So 1 cube, I guess 1 cube means 1. Let me check. 1 cube means 1. 5 cube means 125 and 3 cube means 27. I'm not that good in mathematics, but still 27 plus 1 is 28 and 125 and plus 28 becomes 153 again. So sum of the cube of the digit is 153. So that is what we require to get if a number is Armstrong number or not. So what I will do, let me go to the compiler. So here I will do the sum, but at the time of doing the sum, I will just put pow n percentage 10 to the power 3. That's all. So I will get the sum like 153. If I put a 153, I will get 153. So what I will do, I will take a backup because at the end, n is becoming 0. I have just explained few seconds back or few minutes back, n is becoming 0. I will iterate the loop until the value of n is having some non-zero elements. So when n becomes 0, I will end the loop. So here I need to take a backup like b equals to n or something. I need to store the old value of n. In simple word, I need to hold the old value of n, and I will check if the old value of n, the means 153 equals to the sum I got. So if both are same, I will print it is b is means 153 is Armstrong number. And if it is else, if it is different, then obviously b is not Armstrong number. So I will just write for the timing no. Okay, so if I give 153, I will get yes, it is an Armstrong number. If I give 154, so it will not be an Armstrong number. So we have many Armstrong numbers like that. If I can remember, 370 is Armstrong number. Yeah, 370 is Armstrong number. 371 is Armstrong number. So we have many Armstrong numbers. Okay, so for the timing, let me copy this code with me. Copy and paste this code somewhere in my notepad. So what else we can do? This is the topic number 1. So the last one is enter a number and print its reverse. Suppose anyone gives, I am using the same number, okay, 153, and in return they require 351. Suppose what I need to do. So let me go to the compiler once again. I do not need to do this thing. So what I will do, if you can remember, if I enter 153, first I was getting 3, then 5, then 1. So I can take the similar variable like sum. Okay, let it be sum. So first I will get 3 inside the sum. Currently what I am doing just 3 plus 5 plus 1, right? But here I need to do something else. Okay, first let me remove this pow and this thing all because we are not doing the Armstrong number. So first I'm getting 3. Next time when I am getting 5, I need to do something like 3 into 10 plus 5 so that I will get 35. Next time when I am getting 1, I have to do like 35 into 10 plus 1. So that means it will be 351. If I have some further digits, I have to do like into 10 plus something in this way so that I am getting the reverse. Look, 351 is the reverse of 153. So what I will do, I will simply write sum into 10. Sum into 10 plus whatever it is. So if I print the sum, it will show the reverse. Let me execute it. 153, it should give 351. So let me try with some other values like 762. So it will give 267. How it is giving? Let me explain once again. If you use 762, so the first value of n, let me explain here. First value of n is 762. So sum equals to 0. First, I have introduced that sum equals to 0. It is the rough work. Okay. Suppose it is the rough work. It is not a part of program. I am writing this to make you understand. So n percentage 10, I am revising all those things I have just explained. N percentage 10 means 762 percentage 10 means obviously 2. So what I am doing, sum into 10 plus 2. So what I am doing, 0 into 10 plus 2. So what is the answer? 0 into 10 means it is 0. 0 plus 2 means 2. And n equals to n by 10. So 762 divided by 10 means 76.2. And it is double by, so I will discard the decimal part. So it is now 76. Next time 76 percentage 10 means 76 percentage. If you divide 76 by 10, what will be the remainder? Obviously 6. So n percentage means 6. And here I am doing 2 into 10. You can see sum into 10 plus n percentage 10. So 2 into 10 plus 6. So it will be 20 here and here 20 plus 6. So it will be 26. And after doing this, what I am doing, n equals to n by 10 means 76 by 10 means it is 7.6. And as it is double by, we need to discard the point part, it is 7. So now next time again, 7 percentage 10 will be, if you divide 7 by 10, obviously the remainder will be 7. And here you need to do like 26 into 10. So 26 into 10 means 260 plus 7 means 267. So I got the reverse of 762. Take a look. So that is the explanation. Still, if you are facing some issues or you are not able to understand, just let me know. So this is the way of how I can get the reverse. So if you want to means present it in a good way, you can mention like ref. Instead of sum, you can use the variable ref, but believe me, the logic is the same. It is just a good representation. You are using a good variable name. That's all. Everything else is same. Okay. So this is the topic number 1 we need to know. So today we'll be discussing the 4 topics. The next topic will be the mathematical problems. Like as I told you, like we will be solving some mathematical problems today. So find the LCM without, okay, there is 2 problems, sorry. The first problem is enter 2 numbers, and let me go back, only concentrate on the first one, and find its HCF. How to get the HCF of 2 numbers. So it is pretty critical, I will say. So suppose I have 2 numbers, 60 and 36. Say, let me find out how we can check the HCF of 60 and 36. I am not that, my writing is not that good, but still I am trying to write. So 60, if I divide it by 36, say. So this is the mathematical way how to get the HCF here. So 36 by 60 is obviously 36. Pardon me for my bad handwritings. My digital handwriting is very bad actually. But my natural handwriting is far good, not like this. So, but during the pandemic, I used to write a lot in this dynamic way. So my dynamic writing improves a bit, but not that much. So it is something like that. I think you are able to understand what I'm trying to do. It is just pure mathematics. And if you are not able to understand this mathematics, I think you need to take some mathematical classes like me. I am also not that good in mathematics. So this is the mathematical way of getting HCF. So I will try to replicate that way in my program as well. So 12 into 2 is 24. And now the remainder is 0. So that's why my answer will be 12. If you can relate to this problem, if you know how to get the HCF in mathematics, you can understand 12 is my answer. So what I did, every time I need to divide some value. So first, on the first time, what I can do, I can take this as X, 60 as X. Okay, sorry, it is, you cannot see, I guess. So let me take some other color. Okay. You can take 60 as X and 36 as Y. And let me start solving this problem. Let me go to my page, my compiler, sorry. So here, if I take input of two numbers, suppose this is X and this is Y. Enter first number, enter second number. And you can even, if the first number is lesser than the second number, you can swap it. We know how to swap two numbers. So I'm not going into that part. I am assuming the first number is greater than the second number. So first number is 60 and Y is 36. So I will do it until X percentage Y not equals to 0, until the remainder becomes 0. Okay. So obviously 60 percentage 36 is not a, it is not like, remainder is not 0, remainder is 24. You can see here, remainder is, okay, let me show you, remainder is 24, you can see. So it is not 0, obviously. So what I can do, I can simply, if it is not 0, so I can, in between, I can write something, remainder equals to X percentage Y. And next time, X will take the value of Y and Y will take the value of R, remainder. So you can see the next time X is 36, which was previously, which was Y. So here I have written, that's why X equals to Y. And here 24 is the next Y. That was the R, remainder actually. So I have written these two lines, like X will take the value of Y for the next time and Y will take the value of R. You can check. Now, again, next time, 36 divided by 24 is, the remainder is 0. No, you can see the remainder is 12. So what I can do, I will be writing like X equals to Y. That means X will take 24 for the next time. Means this will be the X. If I mark, this will be the X. 24 will be the X and Y 12. Y will be 12. That was the previous remainder. So I will keep changing the value accordingly. Now, next time again, 24 percentage 12 is not equals to 0. No. 12 percentage, 24 percentage 12 is remainder is 0. So we are done. We will not going to execute it anymore. So the loop is ended because 24 divided by 12 is, the percentage 12 is 0. So I will just print the value of Y. You can see the value of Y is 12. So that is the HCF. So HCF is 12. Not 12, sorry, it is Y. So if I now run the same query, like 60 and 36, if I give, it should give me HCF is 12. Okay. So if I put some other values like, I don't know, 40 and 30, so the HCF is 10, kind of that. So you can practice those mathematics first. You can check what is the mathematical rule. If you are able to understand the mathematical rule, I think it is not that tough to understand this program. Obviously, it will be tough for you to write the program by yourself. But for the first time, as we are new to this chapter, obviously it will be not easier for you to write the program by yourself, but it will be easier for you to understand what we are trying to do. So this is the way. And these classes, believe me, I am making not for the intelligent, talented people, really who are struggling, who are struggling like I have struggled in my college days to grab the new idea. I am always being a slow learner. I need some time. I was always lagging behind. So if you are doing the same, these classes are made for you. I'm not doing it for the superheroes or the super talented people or the first benchers, believe me. So my entire means intention is to help you. Okay, so that is the thing. So HCF is 10. So now if anyone asks, like, I need to get the LCM. So LCM is there is another rule, like product of two numbers means number one into, suppose X and Y is both the numbers, or number one or number two equals to HCF into LCM. So that is the rule of mathematics. N1 into N2 equals to HCF by HCF into LCM. So if I want to get the LCM out of here, what I need to do, I just need to first, I need to store the product of x and y, because the value of x1 y is changing over the time. You can see x and y is taking some different values and it is changing. So what I will do, I have stored the product, and at the end, what I will do, product by y. Y is the final answer of HCF. We have already printed. So product by y, the final value of y. Okay, that is LCM. So I really do not know what is the LCM of 60 and 36. But if you are good in mathematics, you can check. It might be something 180. Okay, might be. Yeah, I guess it is 180. So HCF is 12 and LCM is 180. So that is the thing. And now if anyone asks, like enter two numbers and find its LCM without using HCF. So I am not that good in mathematics. I'm again telling, I have done mathematics probably means before a decade. Last 10 years, I have not done that. But still, if I have two numbers, suppose 40 and 30, and I need to get the LCM. LCM means lowest common factors. So what I can do, let me solve it using for loop, because this can be solved by for loop itself. So I will always prefer for loop over while, but though while has a widest range than for loop, but still 40 and 30. So what I will do, first I will check 40 is divisible by 30 or not. If not, I will check 80 is divisible by 30 or not. If not, I will check 120 is divisible by 30 or not. Yes, 120 is divisible by 30. That means 120 is the lowest common factors. We have some other numbers which is divisible by both 40 and 30, that is 240 or 360, kind of those numbers as well. But for the time being, 120 is divisible by both. So I'm not taking 41, 42, those values, because those are not divisible by 40. So I am only taking those values which are divisible by 40. So that is my logic actually. So what I will do, I will take for I in range, like I will start from x. It will be like x into y, or you can give anything. You can give anything. For the timing, let me give x into y, because the LCM of two numbers is always b, like the maximum means it will be x into y. It is a mathematical logic. Like 5 and 7, it is 35. So that should be the highest. Okay, the multiplication of both. But if you do not know, just for the timing, you can write true. Means it will be everlasting, means ever going actually. And every time I will increase I by x, means it will start from 40. And every time it will be incremented by 40. And in between, if any of those I are divisible by y, then that will be my LCM. That's all. LCM is I. That's all. And I need to break. Okay, what is break? Break means it will stop the loop, because true means if you write true, it will execute forever. So better, if you understand mathematics, you can give x into y plus 1, one extra value. Then also you need to put the break. If you do not put the break, it will give print all the values that is divisible by 40 and 30. That is 120, 240, 360, 480. So if you put the break, then it should only print the first value. Take a look. If I again execute 40 and 30, it will only put the first one and it will break the loop, break the for loop. So we can do the same using the while loop again. Let me do that. If you are in doubt, like when I should use the for loop, when I should use the while loop, you can use while loop always. I equals to x, while obviously the first part will go before the loop, as I have said. First part, let me delete this first part. So this is the part x into while. You can write while I less than equals to x into y. Or you can simply write true as well. Whatever you want. Let me write true. This is something new. Or you can even write x into y plus 1. And let me copy this part. I do not need to, because everything is everything is same. Why do I need to type it again? And the last part is incremented by x. I is incremented by x. So I equals to I plus x. Whenever I am incrementing by plus or minus, I can use both for and while. But if I am incrementing by dividing or multiplication, I have to go for while. So that is the rule actually. I hope it is clear for the time being. So LCM is 120, the same logic I have done. So I know today's class is being extended. Only we have covered till topic 2, but believe me, topic 3 and 4 is very fast. Okay. So because today's class is the most important class in our journey. So if you are good at for loop, you are good at programming. If you are not good at for loop, you will not be good at programming. So my preference will be like try your best. Okay. So handling multiple variables, how to handle multiple variables here. So enter 10 numbers and find the maximum. Okay, sorry. Yeah, enter 10 numbers and find the maximum. So suppose I will be saying you 10 numbers now. I will be saying 10 numbers now, one by one. First number is, suppose, I will not write all the numbers. Otherwise, you will be memorizing all those. So first number is 70. Next number is 55. Next number is 40. Next number is 62. So what is in your brain currently? I know it is 70. It is still 70. Still, let me go further. Next number is 68. Next number is 90. Next number is 75. Next number is 50. So what is in your brain now? Inside your brain, you have stored only 90. If I tell you, tell me all the numbers I have told you, you cannot. You cannot. But if I tell you, tell me the maximum one, you can tell me like it is 90. So I will do the same approach. I will take the same approach, the approach our brain is taking. So first, I will iterate this loop. Okay, I will input a number called X, obviously, but it will be inside a loop. So there will be a loop. Either you can use for and either you can use while, I don't care. So I will iterate the loop for 10 times and I will be saying enter number. Okay. So the first in our brain, it will be max equals to 0. And you can write something if the new number is greater than max, then max equals to that number. You are going to store that number in your brain. And after the loop, you will be printing max. Means the maximum number is max. If I run, let's take a look. Suppose 75, the first number, or then 60, then 45, then 50, then 90, then 78, then 80, then 20, then 52, and next 71, and you can see the max is 90. Because I am only holding, I'm not using 10 different variables to store these numbers. I am taking X as our subconscious mind is doing the same. I am taking one input. Whenever I am telling you a number, you are storing that number and checking in your subconscious mind that if it is greater than max or not. If it is, you are remembering that number only. First, you remembered 70 in our example. And whenever I told you 90, you stored 90 in your brain. So computer is doing the same way. I am guiding computer to do the same thing. So now you will be wondering why I am using max equals to 0, because first number should be 0. But it is not a good way, because if I enters all the negative numbers like minus 10, minus 20, minus 70, minus 9, minus 8, minus 10, minus 20, let it be like minus 100, minus 83. So in this way, minus 9 kind of, so max is 0, because none of the number can exceed the maximum number. So the suggested way is take one input less here, take the first input inside max. Like the same way we did. We stored 70 in our example in the max on the first turn. So the first number will directly go into the max. I do not need to take it as a 0. And the rest of the 9 numbers will be taken input by this way. So let it be like, let me do it for 5 numbers. So first number will be taken input from the outside of the loop, and the rest of the 4 numbers will be taken input here. I have given 5 because of one extra value, means it is generally 4 plus 1. Okay, so the 4 inputs will be taken by user here, and the first input will be taken here. So user will not be able to understand, everything will be same for him or her. Take a look in the black screen. So the first part will be enter a number. I will be giving 70. So it is being stored as a max. So now I am giving the second number as 60, then 50, then till this part, the max is 70. Whenever I'm giving 90, so max 90 is greater than 70. So max is 90 now. 90, the new number, is greater than old maximum, that is 70. So max is now 90. 90 is greater than 70, so max is 90. That's all. So let me input the other numbers as well, 40. Yeah. So out of these 5 numbers, max is 90. I hope the idea is clear. So these are some application-oriented problems, and you can solve those using for loops, and for loops and while loop both are very useful in this kind of situations. So now the last program, the last program, if I show you handling the range of values. Suppose if I ask you to find the prime number between 100 to 200. So first, in this type of situation, this is the last topic. You do not need to first think how I can get the prime numbers between 100 and 200. First, you need to write the logic to get the prime number. Okay, how you can find a number is prime? You need to think on that. So if I write, suppose input a number, and you need to find if that number is prime or not. So if I ask, as it is a YouTube class, it is not an interactive one, but still in my normal classes, I used to ask students like, what is the definition of prime number? And believe me, most of the cases, they give the wrong answer. Most of the cases, believe me. If any of my offline students are seeing this, so they will be able to answer this, like 50% students give the wrong answer. They say the definition of prime number is a number that can be divisible by 1 and itself, but it is wrong. The answer should be a number that is only divisible by 1 and itself, only. So here 17 is a prime number. Why? Because 17 is only divisible by 1 and 17. 9 is not a prime number because 9 is divisible by 3. Okay, so 9 is not a prime number and 17 is a prime number. So I do not need to check if a number is divisible by itself or not. 9 is also divisible by 1 and itself. And 17 is also divisible by 1 and itself. So I do not need to check that 1 and 17 and 1 and 9. I need to check if any number is divisible between 2 to 16. And here 2 to 8. Okay, so 2 to 16 or 2 to 8. So I will be doing the same thing. If for I in range, I'll be checking from 2 to n minus 1. One extra value, that's why I have to give n, but it is actually n minus 1. Okay, so for one extra value, the rule of Python, I have to give n. So I need to check, I need to iterate I in between 2 to n minus 1. And I need to check if n is divisible by I. Anytime if n is divisible by I, so I will print it is non-prime. But I cannot comment on the very first time, because if I am checking 9 is divisible by 2. No. So I cannot comment on the very first time. So I have to wait till the last. So I have taken a value like f equals to 0. I have to wait till the last. If any point of time the value is divisible by any I, any means 9 I have given, 9 is divisible by 2, or 9 is divisible by 3, or 9 is divisible by 4, anytime I will mark that f equals to 1, and I do not need to go further. But in case of 17, n is not divisible by any value from 2 to 16. 17 is not divisible by any value between 2 to 16. So f will remain 0. F will never turned into 1. F will remain 0. So at the end of the for loop, I will check if f remains 0, I will print prime. Else not prime. Okay. So if f remains 0 in case of 17, 17 is not divisible by any I. I means 2 to 16. Okay. So f remains 0, so it is prime. But I cannot print anything here. I have to divide it with all the numbers. I divide the 17 by all the numbers. In case of 9, 9 is not divisible by 2, but 9 is divisible by 3. So I have to wait until it is divisible by at least one value. If it is divisible by one value, f will turn into 1, and I will immediately break the loop. There is no requirement like I need to divide in 9 by 4, 9 by 5, 9 by 6. It is enough. 9 is divisible by 3. That means it is not prime. It turns into 1. And if it f equals to 1, then it is not prime. So if I run this program, if I give 17, it will say prime. If I give 9, it should give me non-prime. Okay. So now the question is pretty different. It is normal. The question was, it was a normal question. Enter a number and find if it is prime or not. But the question is, find all the prime numbers between 100 and 200. So in these cases, always first determine the middle, means determine the logic first. If your logic is ready, if it is working, now you need to put the range. How you can put the range? Instead of n, I am now able to find if n is prime or not. I'm able to find n, this variable n is prime or not. So instead of n, I can write for n in range 100 to 200. That's all. So n will not given by user anymore. N itself will be iterating in a loop. So first n will be 100, then n will be 101, n will be 102, kind of that. So the same program will run multiple times. For multiple n, you can see there are a long list of the value, but it is not making the thing clear. So I do not need to print not prime values. So I will delete the else part. I just want to print the prime values. So, but the logic is ready. It is sorted out. So I am getting few prime, but it is not printing the numbers. So what I will do, I will simply print n. I'm not going to print it is prime or not. I know I'm only printing the prime. So you can see it is printing all the prime numbers between 100 to 200. So 101, 103, 107, 9, then 113, kind of that. 117 is not prime, 121 is not prime. So those are not in the list. So you can see, just think over the logic. If you are able to put down the logic, if you are able to write the logic, rest of the part, these ranges and all will be okay for you. It is not a hard one. Okay. So that is the thing. And you need to practice. That's all for the day. You need to practice all of them by yourself. And then only you will be able to solve this program. And believe me, for loop is the most important chapter in your syllabus. If you face any doubt, any problem, any suggestions, any confusion, you can let me know. Okay. And the exercise you need to solve here in this group, Binary World Computer Science class, the links will be available in the description. If you go to the media, if you go to the album, I have already shown you, but still another time. If you go to the coding exercise basic, this chapter, and you will get one chapter 3.3 that is for application, this one. So you will get this chapter and you need to solve all of them. So you can see there are some questions like Armstrong, reverse, whatever we have discussed. The first problem is the prime that I have discussed. So you need to solve all of them. And if you face any doubts, you can let me know. I have a solution for this chapter. If you are facing any problem, you can ping me in the comment section. I will just send you the solution of this chapter. Okay. So, yep, that's all for the day. Take care during this pandemic, and we will again meet with some other class, because for loop is done. So that means we are in a good shape. So just you need to solve these things by yourself once. Bye. That's all. Bye-bye.